Hello everyone and welcome back to TheCoDArchive. Today we're delving into the history of one of the most legendary team runs in Call of Duty esports. From their dominant Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfarrer seasons, OpTic experienced unparalleled success throughout both periods. We have compiled all the regular season statistics, group stage results, and every tournament bracket in which they emerged victorious. Without further ado, let's dive into the OpTic Dynasty archive. Following the highly successful Advanced Warfare season, which marked the organization's most successful period at the time, Black Ops 3 became the first full season where the core squad of Crim 6, Karma, Formal, and Scump, also known as OpTic Dynasty, teamed up together. Kicking off their season on a high note, OpTic dominated the competition during the Stage 1 regular season, boasting an impressive 20-2 win-loss record and winning an astounding 77% of the maps they played. Heading into the Stage 1 playoffs, OpTic was riding a 13-match winning streak. In round 1 of the bracket, they faced TSM and managed to extend their winning streak in a thrilling 7-game series. OpTic went on to sweep Elevate 4-0 and faced Rise Nation in the grand finals. This legendary matchup concluded in a Game 7 round 11 setting, with OpTic emerging as the last team standing, earning a $66,000 prize and keeping their 16-match winning streak intact.
That's another one. It's 4 versus 2. They're able to pick up 1 kill. All set in 2v2. They're picking them up. It's now 4-2. OpTic Gaming has done it.
They go huge. Karma in the final round.
As they approached the Crown Melbourne Invitational, it was evident that it was OpTic's tournament to lose. With only 2 matches to be played, OpTic secured a clean 4-0 sweep against Tainted Minds and faced Millennium in the grand finals. Millennium, one of Europe's giants at the time, managed to avoid a sweep but proved to be no match for OpTic's skill, allowing OpTic to extend their winning streak to 18 matches and claimed an additional $30,000. Following the Melbourne Invitational was ESWC 2016, with OpTic expected to face off against FaZe or Rise Nation in the grand finals after defeating European teams Infused and Millennium. However, Splice had different plans. They defeated Rise in a nerve-wracking Game 5 fashion and advanced to the grand finals against OpTic Gaming. OpTic showed no mercy in the grand finals, comfortably defeating Splice in a 3-0 sweep, securing $20,000 in the championship trophy.
Knew they were a championship Sunday team. Unbelievable by OpTic Gaming.
Next up was the MLG Anaheim Open, beginning with the group stage phase where OpTic effortlessly won all 3 series against Cloud9, Team Lethal, and TSM. Advancing to the winners bracket of the tournament, OpTic maintained their impressive 26-match winning streak since February 11th. On June 12th, they triumphed over Luminosity in the winners quarterfinals and Rise Nation in the semifinals, securing yet another spot in the grand finals with an opportunity to achieve a 4-peat. OpTic did the unthinkable and reverse swept Team Elevate in the grand finals, earning $40,000 as the champions of MLG Anaheim.
Forward, OpTic Gaming are your 2016 MLG Anaheim Open champions.
As the season progressed, it became apparent that the competition, particularly Team Envy, was catching up to Team OpTic's level of play. OpTic finished 2nd place in the Stage 2 regular season as Rise Nation ended their 30-match winning streak during the first week of the Stage 2 season. Surprising everyone in the Stage 2 playoffs, OpTic Gaming stumbled on day 1 and was eliminated by Luminosity in a dramatic Game 7 fashion, resulting in a disappointing 5th to 8th place finish. Meanwhile, their rivals, Envy, went on to win Stage 2 and gain confidence as they found their footing in the Black Ops 3 season. After the disappointing ending to their Stage 2 playoffs run, OpTic appeared stronger than ever in MLG Orlando as they swept through the group stage against Kingsman, TK, and Luminosity, progressing to the winners bracket for a chance to claim the top seed and lift yet another trophy. They defeated Ground Zero and Rise Nation in the semifinals, advancing to the grand finals of the epic El Clasico matchup that extended to the 2nd best-of-5 series after Envy won the first one with a 3-2 score. However, OpTic refused to be defeated in a 2 best-of-5 series, leveraging their winners bracket advantage to sweep Envy in the 2nd series and ultimately be crowned the MLG Orlando champions.
There you have it. OpTic Gaming are your MLG Orlando 2016 champions.
Unfortunately, the Dynasty roster let down the green wall in the Call of Duty World Championship. They had a slow start in the group stage, losing the first series of the tournament in a tense 3-2 fashion against Complexity, which resulted in the second seed placement in the groups. To add to the disappointment, Fate matched OpTic and Envy in the first round of the winners bracket knockout stage. Envy emerged victorious with a 3-1 score, pushing OpTic all the way to the losers bracket round 1. OpTic faced the challenge of completing the greatest losers bracket run at that time for a chance to redeem themselves against Envy, who eventually reached the grand finals of the tournament. OpTic triumphed over Infused and Luminosity back-to-back in round 1 and 2 of the losers bracket. They then encountered the OpTic Killer, Ake's Cloud9 squad, who were the heavy underdogs in this matchup. After a fierce battle between the two teams, they found themselves in a nail-biting Game 5 round 11 moment. Cloud9 eliminated OpTic, shattering their dreams of the Call of Duty Championship as they finished in a disappointing 7th place.
Doesn't get the second player coming and challenge over top. Formal's gonna be able to help him out. Karma going for the kill. Formal up to you. 1v1 situation. Assault coming over. And Assault wins the 1v1. OpTic Gaming. We will see you fudging later.
Following a devastating end to their Black Ops 3 season, OpTic had no reason to make any roster changes. The core 4 players, Crim6, Karma, Scump, and Formal, were bound to achieve success on the big stage of the World Championship eventually. Despite a slow start at the CWL Las Vegas Open, where they finished in 5th and 6th position, and 2nd place finish at the CWL Atlanta Open, OpTic's dominant run in the Infinite Warfarrer competitive season began at the CWL Paris tournament. They showcased their potential dominance in the group stage, boasting a flawless 3-0 record and advancing to the winners bracket. OpTic appeared unstoppable throughout the tournament, sweeping every team that crossed their path, including Envy in winners round 1, Infused in the semifinals, and finally FaZe in the winners finals.
You got it right now. Crim6 making the play. FaZe are ready for this.
They're spotted.
They're not ready. Oh my God! Crim6 with the overdrive, and Scump says, oh, it's over. It's done.
Although FaZe managed to climb back to the grand final for the rematch, OpTic remained unfazed, sweeping FaZe once again and claiming victory. This win solidified OpTic as the team to beat for the remainder of the CWL 2017 season. The next challenge for OpTic was the CWL Dallas tournament, featuring 20 teams competing for the chance to lift the trophy. OpTic aimed to go back-to-back. During the group stage phase, OpTic swept their group, ending with a perfect 4-0 record and advancing to the winners bracket once again, maintaining an impressive 11-match win streak. OpTic faced back-to-back hard-fought series in the quarterfinals against Luminosity and in the semifinals against Splice. Both matches ended in a Game 5 search and destroy showdown, with OpTic emerging victorious. They advanced to the winners final for a rematch against FaZe, building on their previous success at CWL Paris. OpTic continued their dominance over FaZe, sweeping them once again and sending them to the losers finals against E-United. E-United's victory over FaZe established a new grand final rivalry, as this new squad appeared ready to face the green wall and aimed to beat them in 2 best-of-5 series, a task no one had accomplished yet. The first series against E-United was nerve-wracking, with E-United pushing OpTic to their limits and closing it out with a 3-2 victory. This forced another best-of-5, where the winner takes it all. With the pressure on, OpTic Gaming's 2-time world champion, Karma, had no interest in losing this grand final. With a dominating Game 5 performance, OpTic swept E-United in a 6-0 search and destroy masterclass, triumphing once again in the CWL 2017 season and adding another $80,000 to their earnings.
Silly is gone, just the twins left. Down goes Arsenes, down goes Prestigious, all OpTic Gaming!
As the Stage 2 regular season came to an end, 4 teams secured the top seed in their respective groups: OpTic, FaZe, Luminosity, and E-United. The OpTic Dynasty stood out as the only squad that went undefeated, boasting a perfect 6-0 record. Moving on to the Stage 2 playoffs, OpTic dominated Fnatic in the winners round 1 with a 3-0 sweep. The next series was a highly anticipated rematch against E-United, with all eyes on how E-United would perform following their defeat in the CWL Dallas Grand Finals. Arsenes and E-United played their hearts out against OpTic and swept the series in a dominating 3-0 fashion, sending OpTic to the losers bracket.
Oh, baby, let's go 3-0.
After a thrilling 5-game series against FaZe to save their tournament lives, OpTic went on to beat Luminosity and secured another rematch against United in the losers finals. The winner would advance to the grand finals and face off against Envy. OpTic and United engaged in one of the most exciting matchups of the season, going back and forth and eventually finding themselves in a nail-biting Game 5 matchup to stay in the tournament. OpTic took control of Map 5 and secured the victory with a comfortable 6-3 score, advancing to the grand finals, ready to face Envy.
2v2 Scump on the wall run.
Silly's been taken down. It's all up to the man himself. It's all up to Alex. No! OpTic Gaming! They sealed the deal. They're in the grand final against Team Envious. The crowd is going wild.
Facing the reigning world champions in a 2 best-of-5 series setting wouldn't be an easy task for OpTic Gaming. However, they looked truly unstoppable. After winning the first series 3-1, OpTic left Envy stunned in the second series and capitalized on their advantage, resulting in an epic 2 best-of-5 series win for the OpTic Dynasty. They secured the trophy and a $200,000 prize.
Dead OpTic Gaming! Your CWL Stage 2 Global Pro League champions.
The stage was set for the Call of Duty World Championship, with OpTic Gaming as the tournament favorites. They had to show up from day one and avoid repeating last year's mistakes. Starting off at the COD Champs with the group stage phase, OpTic showcased their true form, securing a flawless 3-0 record and advancing to the winners bracket. With 32 teams competing for a total prize pool of $1.5 million, OpTic had to remain composed during every match in the winners bracket. They went on to beat Mindfreak Black, Splice, and FaZe, earning themselves a spot in the winners finals matchup against Envy. In this intense preview of the grand finals, Envy had the upper hand throughout the series and eventually closed it out with a 3-1 victory, sending OpTic to the losers bracket once again. OpTic now had to face Luminosity for a chance to advance to the grand finals and secure a rematch against the reigning COD champions. Thankfully for the Green Wall, the T2P duo, alongside Crim6 and Karma, history had no chance of repeating itself. With a dominating performance, OpTic swept Luminosity with a 3-0 victory, successfully earning their spot in the grand finals. However, the tough task of defeating the reigning COD champs in 2 best-of-5 series for the championship title still lay ahead. The stakes were at an all-time high for the OpTic Dynasty. With momentum on their side, OpTic dominated Envy in Game 1 Hardpoint. Envy answered back with a dominant search and destroy win. However, with the Green Wall's resilience, OpTic pushed Envy to the limits, ending their undefeated uplink streak and forcing a second best-of-5 series with a close Game 4 Hardpoint win. Having all the momentum they needed to close out the grand finals, Formal and Karma erupted in Game 1, finishing with 35 and 38 kills respectively. They were determined to end the series and lift the trophy. Moving on to Game 2, Formal continued his dominance against the Envy squad, dropping 10 kills and securing the victory. OpTic was now just 1 map away from becoming world champions. In an intense uplink matchup, OpTic remained composed and closed out the series with a 3-0 sweep, becoming the Call of Duty 2017 World Champions. They solidified themselves as the greatest roster of all time. Thank you all for joining us on this incredible journey through the OpTic Dynasty archive. We've explored their legendary team run in Call of Duty esports, reliving their dominant seasons and thrilling victories. It has been an absolute pleasure reminiscing about the moments that shaped this iconic team. Remember to subscribe for more fascinating content, and stay tuned for our next adventure into the rich history of Call of Duty esports. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey, and see you next time on COD Archive.